Morning. It's Monday, July the 6th, and this is Wisdom for Your Week. I'm sometimes asked, why do you think God made such and such? Somebody asked me recently, why did God make skunks? That's a good question. Why did God make mosquitoes? For me, it's why did God make ants? I can stay away from skunks, and mosquitoes don't bother me too much, but ants I could do without. Maybe one of the reasons God made ants is this, to teach us some important lessons about work. Solomon used ants as an illustration in the verses that we're looking at today. Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 8 says this, Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, yet it stores its provision in summer and gathers its food at harvest. The simple ant, the scourge of summertime picnics, teaches us some important lessons about work. For one thing, don't be lazy. Solomon uses the word sluggard here that speaks of a lazy person, someone who would rather sleep than work, someone who makes excuses for not getting his work done. So Solomon says, don't be lazy. Look at how hard the ants work. Have you ever watched a swarm of ants? They never stop moving, do they? They're always on the go. They don't stop. They're the exact opposite of sluggish and slow. Apparently, there are no sluggards in the ant world. So Solomon says, don't be lazy. Secondly, he says, be a self-starter. Solomon said the ants work hard even though there's no supervisor standing watch over them. They don't have a boss to see that they are always doing their job. You know, it's one thing for us to do our work when someone is watching us and directing us and supervising us. But what about when no one is looking, when the boss is not around? Do you work just as hard then? Do you look for work that needs to be done, or does someone have to tell you all the time to do something? The ant is a self-starter. It just does what needs to be done without being told. That's the kind of worker we ought to be. He also said that we should prepare for the future. The ant doesn't consume all the crumbs that it finds in a kitchen like this. It carries some back to save for the winter, for the off season. And so even the ant, with that tiny little brain, is wise enough to prepare for the future, for a rainy day that will eventually come. So if we are only as wise as an ant, we'll do the same thing. We'll prepare for the future. And so while ants may be a nuisance, we can learn some important lessons from them. So Solomon would say, pay attention to the ants. And that's wisdom for your week.